By now, you've probably heard that 2 vaccines for coronavirus have been approved for emergency use. But what you might not know is, are they safe and how do they work? Hi, I'm Aisha Langford, Assistant Professor of Population Health at NYU Langone Health. And today we're going to answer those questions for you. The speed at which the COVID-19 vaccine was developed has been a primary source of vaccine hesitancy. While it's true that these vaccines were developed and distributed in record time, it doesn't mean that safety was compromised. Typically, a trial looks like this. Platforms are developed in animal models for a few years before phase 1 trials can begin. But in the case of coronavirus, the platform had already been developed. As far back as 2004, researchers were already working on what's called a messenger RNA vaccine platform. More on that in a minute. The COVID-19 coronavirus is close enough genetically to 2 other coronaviruses, SARS and MERS. And so scientists could piggyback off the work that had already been done on vaccine development for those 2 viruses. That saved a huge chunk of time. So, when COVID-19's genetic sequence became available in January of 2020, scientists were immediately able to start work on the RNA vaccines. Next are the 3 phases of trials, which can typically last 1 to 2 years each. The different phases relate to patient populations. Phase 1 trials are usually small, and then each subsequent phase involves more people. Realizing that time was of the essence, these trials were supersized, and phases 2 and 3 were combined. All patients were monitored for safety and efficacy, and those data were submitted to the FDA in December of 2020. An outside panel of experts reviewed the data, and the FDA authorized RNA vaccines for emergency use authorization starting in December. Furthermore, Pfizer and Moderna were able to save time by producing large quantities of their vaccines before the emergency use authorization so that distribution could begin immediately once emergency use was authorized. So, now that you know how they were developed, you might be wondering how they actually work. There are many different types of vaccines or vaccine platforms, but the 2 that are approved for use as of January 2021 are a platform called mRNA. The purpose of any vaccine is to safely train the human body's immune system with the part of a virus in order to activate an immune response. In the case of COVID-19 mRNA vaccines, the part of the targeted virus we're focusing on is what's called the spike protein. It's this little thing here. The mRNA included in the vaccine has the genetic code of this spike protein, and once injected into our bodies, that little genetic blueprint begins to build these spike proteins. Our body's immune system then mounts an immune response, including antibodies and T cells, to this foreign protein. Since the vaccine contains only the spike protein and not the actual virus itself, there's no risk of getting coronavirus from the vaccine. Vaccines are a glowing example of the advancements of modern medicine. They will save millions of lives and help this country and the world get back to normal. And hopefully, as we continue to distribute this vaccine, we can begin to put this dark chapter behind us. In the meantime, remember to maintain social distancing and wear your mask, even after you receive the vaccine. If you have any questions about the vaccine, you can visit these sources. Thank you and stay safe.